if you're going to try to talk to me about creative financing with this particular property, it's just not going to work.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex. I am a real estate investor, and I want to make these videos to share with you the things I'm learning, the challenges I'm overcoming, and hopefully you can use this to accelerate your own journey and get a little further down the path a little faster than I was able to. So today we have a call breakdown that I had with an agent where I was essentially able to convert them from being totally closed off to any sort of creative option sub to seller finance to actually being able to present it to the client and get a mortgage statement so we can underwrite it and everything like that. So the reason I'm making this video is I know a lot of you guys are doing direct to agent right now. I know that's super popular, going direct to agent, trying to do some creative stuff. And I get why it's popular, right? Because it's super easy to start. The barrier to entry is so low. Like you literally just need like an internet connection, right? And you can go find listings. The agent's phone number is probably already there. You can call them, and it's got huge upside too, right? So you build relationships with really good agents, and these agents will feed you deals, and you can do deals together for the rest of your life, right? So definitely big upside. So I want to make this video so hopefully you guys can have a little more success when you're doing this direct to agent stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the call.
This is Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, it's Alex Perkins. How are you?
Just fine.
Awesome. Say, I think you actually talked to Lance on my team about Monarch. Did I catch you at a bad time here?
Well, if you're going to try to talk to me about creative financing with this particular property, it's just not going to work.
It sounds like you guys have been down this road.
We have. It's a VA loan, and they owe a lot more than what you would be wanting to even try to do anything with. So it's just, I get calls like this every other day. So they owe $475 for the house. Okay, that's the loan on it, and that's kind of the deal, you know.
Okay.
And
so that wouldn't be an issue for me. I guess what is kind of holding them up from wanting to do something like that? Is there something?
So right out the gate, this agent is pretty aggressive. Like, hey, if you're gonna try to talk to me about creative finance, like I've already been pitched this like 50 other times by 50 other investors, then she just gets straight to the point, which I actually prefer. I really appreciate that. And you're gonna run into this a lot because, like I said, the barrier to entry is so low that you're gonna have a lot of other competition doing the exact same thing, which is totally okay. If you're good enough, there's always room for one more, right? Which is a quote I really like. So it doesn't matter that there's a bunch of other people doing it, making it, so the competition is high in terms of the amount of competition, but the quality of competition is really not there. So as long as you're quality, you can definitely overcome stuff like this. But you're going to get a lot of agents that are, used to, they're going to have their shield up right away, right? And say like, nope, this doesn't work. I've already tried it. So you need to just figure out a way to really gently, get them to lower that shield. You don't want to butt heads with them. You kind of want to figure out like, hey, I totally hear you. I understand. That's not a problem. But why? Why does this not work? And then once you dig down another layer, figure out why it doesn't work. Now you can attack that why, because it's probably like a limiting belief about like this is illegal or it's risky or whatever. You're gonna ruin my credit or something like that, right? So getting to the why is kind of important. And just so you know, you're gonna be running into a lot of agents that are going to be very defensive at first like that. So expect that.
Well, they have a VA entitlement,
And they need to use their full entitlement to buy the next one, it sounds like?
Well, they possibly would, I mean, they don't want to tie it up.
Gotcha.
I mean, would you? In this market? So, it's just not a good idea on this VA loan. And their interest rate's a little higher than most too, because they bought this house the first of the year, so their interest rate is, I think, right at 6.
Gotcha. Are they kind of expecting to basically have to come out of pocket to sell this one?
It's possible a little bit, which, I mean, if the payments are, if you sell it, you may go in the hole for a couple of months, but you'll recoup and you'll have it off your back, kind of thing. So, yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe if they want to use their full entitlements on their next property for like a 0 down or something like that, then I do get that. I mean, maybe it would be possible because we do a lot of this where we essentially just give the seller enough money to get a new down payment on their next one.
I know, but they already have another home, so that's the deal. So.
Oh, so they don't need to use their entitlements to buy another one right away. It's just in the future someday.
Exactly.
Okay. I guess what if we were to put in the stipulations that X number of years down the road, whatever, 7 years later, we have to refinance and clear the loan out? How come something like that would not work at full price?
So a couple of things there. Like I said, we need to figure out why they don't want to do this creative route. So in this particular situation, it would tie up their VA benefits, and someday in the future they might want to reuse those again, right? They're actually not even needing them like today, which makes it a lot easier. But someday in the future they might want to use their VA entitlements again to buy another house with zero down. So that's going to be key, right? Figuring out exactly why this does not work. And then you can be creative and just use your head and figure out, okay, well, what if I just literally wrote down like, okay, I have to refinance at year 7 or something like that. That would wipe out the VA loan. That would get you your entitlements back. So yeah, just kind of active listening, figuring out exactly why it doesn't work. I always do like to throw in there like, what's your next best option, right? Your next best option, just kind of to remind them, hey, if you sell this, even at full price, the seller is going to have to cut a check, so just to compare the two options in their head, like option 1, my seller loses money, or option 2, my seller can make some money on the sale and we can still overcome these problems. We can get them their VA entitlements back.
Well, when you say full price, you're talking about $475 and then paying all the expenses.
Yeah, so essentially $475 would be just how we write it up. $475 would be the purchase price, but on top of that, we pay your commissions additionally.
Mm-hmm.
We pay closing costs, and then additionally, whatever equity the seller has, we pay them that.
Well, like I said, they don't have much equity at this point,
Sure.
So,
I mean,
I
do you think it'd be
don't
just
know why
even worth running and buy them? Like if we could get it out of their name at year 7 or something like that, and then they get their entitlements back?
I don't know, like I said, the payments, I don't know what they are, but I doubt you want them. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Because, it's like a 6%,
We do stuff with interest rates that high. Actually, we do have a lot of insurance companies that we have relationships. Actually, we do a ton of like corporate stuff and medium term rentals and stuff like that, where we can kind of make some of these deals work and still obviously get the other benefits of owning real estate, the tax write offs and all that stuff. So
Yeah. So y'all pay for the taxes and everything?
Yep. So our name is on title, so it's gonna be we're paying the taxes, we're paying the insurance. Obviously any repairs, it's our house, so that's totally our responsibility.
Yeah. Well, you can write me something up and I'll present it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can do like an LOI, but in order to get like an actual contract in front of you, I would just need to basically have my underwriters look at the underlying debt. So normally it's just a picture of the latest mortgage statement is all we need.
Okay.
Do you have one of those?
I don't have it, but,
Could you get
I
one? I
might.
guess is a better question.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to ask them if they'd be up to this creative financing thing,
Mm-hmm.
But, all right. Well, like I said, I mean, you have to try to get to a win-win,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it has to work for everyone, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Like I said, they don't have to make equity on it. They just need to pay commissions, or you would, and they just need, to just have it more or less paid off and take over the payments.
Right. So they don't have to keep making that payment anymore.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But like I said, if it doesn't make sense, I mean, I told them all along they should just lease the house, personally, but
Sure. Okay.
there's been a lot of interest in this home, but we just can't get an offer on it, So.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, I'd love to put a real solid offer in front of you. I guess if you can give me that mortgage statement, I could certainly do just that.
Well, send me an email, okay? So I have
Okay.
I mean, you guys are calling me like two phone calls a day. I can't even keep up,
Oh, sorry about that.
I guess everybody wants wants this stupid creative financing. It scares me to death. I would never do it. So, I don't see how it's a win-win for everybody, because you still take some liability, on because you're still paying this payment, and if you default, how does that work? If someone on your side defaults.
Yeah, great question.
So if I was to give myself some feedback here, obviously she's becoming more and more open to it. She said she'll present it to her sellers. She wants some more information on it and stuff like that, which is a big improvement from absolutely no, this is not going to work, right? But if I was to give myself some feedback here, I would definitely say, like, I don't think she was fully feeling the pain that her clients are in, right? Because they're not able to sell it. They're making a mortgage payment every single month. She mentioned, like, I just told them to rent it. But honestly, what I should have done is asked, do you know how much the monthly payment is roughly? Okay, do you know how much the rent is roughly? And then guaranteed it's higher than the rent. And on top of that, you probably have to pay a property manager. You have to put away money for maintenance, vacancy, all your expenses, capital expenditures, that sort of stuff. So kind of reemphasizing to her that, hey, your client, we're on the same team here. I'm trying to buy this property, move it for you, get you paid, and get your client, out of this situation where they're not losing money on the monthly payment anymore. They don't have to be a landlord, that sort of thing. So that is some feedback I would give myself here, because just listening to her talk, she's not understanding how it's a win-win for everybody.
And the whole country and the whole company folds or whatever that has it, then what does my clients do?
Right.
What's the recourse then? Because I don't know what to tell them.
No, that's a super good question. I'm glad you asked that. And honestly, if you guys wanted to jump on a Zoom or a three-way, whatever, Google Meet, whatever, I do that pretty frequently as well. So we could definitely do that, answer any questions and any follow-up questions. But to give you the short answer there, we always protect every one of our sellers with a performance deed. And I would honestly never do any creative finance without that. So if you're talking to others, make sure they have it as well. The
what is
performance
it
deed, performance deed.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a document it's pretty much the same as a deed in lieu of foreclosure that banks use, but it basically just says, hey, if I ever miss a single payment by 30 days, you can get the house back without having to foreclose on me. You keep any money I've given to you, any improvements I've done to the property. You get the property back with more equity, obviously, because I've been paying down that loan. And yeah, it's really just a document put in place to make sure that the seller's protected. And additionally, it just kind of financially disincentivizes us from ever wanting to do anything like that.
All right. Well, and I've got another one right now that's on the market.
So 2 quick things there. If you can, get on a Zoom with these people, and you will crush on a Zoom. Just they can see your face, you can smile, you can laugh together. So I always like to push for that too. If you can, get on a video conference with the agent and the seller, because that will take your close rate and like 10x it. It's nuts. So push for that a little bit. I would probably push for it probably even more than I did here. And then arming the agent with the information too. They're going to have objections. The classic two are what happens if I want to go get another loan, and what happens if you guys don't pay. So have your responses ready for those two, because you're going to get them pretty much every single call. So have that stuff memorized. Know what you're actually going to do in that situation.
That has got a 4.75, but it's a VA too. But see, I don't know like how that works. You can't really. I mean, you're not assuming the loan, but you kind of are.
Right. It's not an assumption. It's a little different. We essentially just take it over. Well, we do. I don't know about these other investors, but we take over these loans via a servicing company. And that servicing company basically acts as proof that we're the new party responsible. So it can be removed from your seller's debt-to-income ratio. They could, log into the servicing company, make sure we're making the payment, all that good stuff. So yeah, we always use a servicing company.
So right there, I'm just kind of trying to differentiate myself from all these other knuckleheads that are calling her. Like, yeah, I don't know what these other wild, crazy guys are doing, but we always do it professionally. I'm always a professional. I always protect your sellers. I always use a performance deed. I always use a servicing company. So, like she said in the beginning, like I've been down this road 20 times already. So you're gonna have to do something to differentiate yourself and separate yourself from that all those other groups of investors in her head.
And then I'll get you a copy of if they want to do something like that. Okay. All right. Well, stay safe over there, and just send me that, and I'll see what I can do. Okay? Because it'd be nice to get it off the book. Okay.
Yep, 100%. Awesome. Appreciate your time, Sherry.
Bye bye.
So that's pretty much the call. Just from the start of the call to the end of the call, attitude completely shifted. I would say the major takeaways here, right, is one, be ready for that aggression. Try to figure out ways to instill in the agent that, hey, we're on the same team here. I'm not trying to fight you. I'm not getting in a fight with you. You know, our goal is the exact same thing. You want to move this property. I want to buy the property. The seller wants to sell the property. We all have aligned interests here. So do your best to instill that in them. Differentiate yourself from those other knuckleheads that are giving her a call that are super unprofessional. And then I would also say you want to figure out the exact reason why this has not worked in the past, and then work to overcome that creatively, or just breaking a belief, or whatever that takes, right? Because 90% of the time it's a false belief, or something along those lines that has really been holding them up from doing something like this. So yeah, that's the call. Hope you guys took away something there, and let me know what you guys want to see on the next one.